It's your man Jesse X back with that positive energy. Eat that, swallow that, feed that to somebody else. Welcome. How you guys doing? How you doing? Just felt like coming on this morning because I am going to do my fruits as I normally do. Gotta move things around here so we're in the right position. The right position. That's what she said. Anyway, what are we doing today? I have my normal, well, not my normal, but most of my normal. Hey, check this out. Got this morning, Farina. Now I know that wheat is very bad, but I just love Farina. So once in a while I'll have some. But the wheat that they grow nowadays, horrible. We need icon type of stuff growing. Anyway, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit to see if I get anybody on before I speak about my topic. For right now, we're just going to do the fruits. Now, when I wake up in the morning, my the first thing I do is I give my gratitude, like I tell you guys all the time, and I I drink water, about 4 ounces, before I brush my teeth. Dente mi dente. Lava mi dente. That's it in Espanol. And I drink water, and then I stretch. I stretch for about a minute or so, you know, get the juices flowing. Pink Lady, organic. That's what I do in the morning. That's my ritual. And sometimes I before I even start, I drink the water and then I burn my my Peruvian stick. That's some spiritual stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do in the mornings. The other day, I'm big into health, and most of my followers, that I'm 6.0, and I'm lucky and fortunate to have made it to this time in my life. Now, I have a very good friend, almost like a best friend. He's my best friend, I should say. I have many best friends. However, I was in Whole Foods, quite away from my house, and I was walking out and I see my boy. And I'm like, yo, and he's like, yo, what you doing here, nigga? I was like, yo, I'm like savoir faire. I'm everywhere. And when I looked at him, mind you, it's been some few months, like 6, 7, 8 months since, not even that long. I'm exaggerating. Some months since I've seen him. Hey, how you doing? Where you from? And he's only a few months older than me, right? I think maybe 2 months older than me. And when I saw him, I'm looking at an old man. I'm literally like the posture, the dark circles and bags under his eyes, and I'm like, yo, we the same age. And it was just astounding. And I know it is what he's consuming. He says he goes to the gym, does, but it's not reflecting. It doesn't reflect. And I keep telling people that your journey towards health begins at the end of the fork, not in the gym, at the end of the fork. You actually don't even have to go to the gym to be active. Just do simple things, man. You know, um, Tai Chi, chair exercise, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I saw I had like almost 50 something viewers. and I was ranting about health, which is important to me. However, what I want to speak about is Professor Jeffrey Sachs. Very intelligent, very truthful, one of the, the persons in this world I would listen to as far as um, listening to someone that has more than common sense, intelligent truth. That's what I should say, because we have intelligent stupidity and then we have intelligent truth sayers. Now, Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, he's an authority on civilization, and history of civilization. I'm slurring my words. And do you know there are 1.4 billion Africans in the world right now? 1.5, maybe more with the diaspora, but in Africa it's 1.4 billion. China has about 1.3 billion. India has about roughly the same. With the projection now in past the 21st century, Africa is the youngest demographic in the world right now at 1.5 billion people. And by the turn of the 21st century, Africa is estimated to have over 3 billion people. Technology is, you know, going fast. And what's good, melanated brother? I'm well. I'm well. How are you? Where are you at? So Africa is the way. Africa, you know, is the future again. You know, everything evolved from Africa. And what did he say? You go from first to last and back to first again, you know. And my biggest thing in this statistic that's going to eventually come to fruition is that Africans learn in Vietnam. Really? Wow. Are you American and live in Vietnam, or you're Vietnamese and live in Vietnam? And what I was saying, what happens is that Africa is going to have to start taking care of itself. My thing is, I don't know if I will ever live to see Africa become an empire again. However, what I want the new, younger African leaders to do is not make the mistakes of the Western world and not make the mistakes of our ancestors. You know, we have to take care of each other. In any civilization, period. I speak about Africa because those are my ancestors. As far as I'm concerned, we need people, leaders, to care about humanity. That is the biggest problem. I see all these shows and podcasts and debates about war and about leaders and this. I'm American. I live in the Philippines. Yeah, I was thinking about going there to the Philippines. Honestly, really, really, really wanted to go there. Um, my issue is that you cannot own land there, and I would want to own my land, or quote unquote own your land. No one ever owns anything there, because we all have to die, or the government will take it from you. However, I don't want to see them make that mistake of our ancestors and allowing outsiders to come back in and basically brainwash us and control us again. That's that's my wishes for Africa itself. You know, these secret societies and these religious cults, because that's what they are, and cabal or whatever, they're destroying this world. Systematically, they're destroying this world. You know, they're consuming everything. Uh, Power, ego. That is, ego is the biggest thing because most of these people that are going to war or claim they're at war, they're doing it based on ego. Just ego itself. Got my organic blueberries that I'm dumping in. I think I made a little too much. Yeah, some of these gonna have to go back in the box. I overdid it. Yeah, ego. And I think when you um the adults have to teach, children how to control the ego, how to not have an ego. We have to have self-caring, but we cannot raise or guide children to think that they're super superior over another person, or another human being. That's what it is. So Africa is going to be the way again. And one thing I know about, you know, some of my people, we're caring people, but, you know, outsiders can have influenced so much of the thought patterns, so much of the ways, and that's my thing. I don't want them to adapt or adopt that mindset. I am a free thinker. I'm a non-conformant. I am a big non-conformant. I am not a conformist at all. And I really am happy that I'm a logical person. I am a Gen X, so I grew up being accountable for my actions and thinking about the things I do before I do them. Because every action has a reaction. There's consequences to everything. You know. You still on there, Shane? Shane Legs? So yeah. Um, so I was actually headed to Saudi Arabia next month, and I think my plans have been kiboshed by this war. And I have a friend that lives in Jeddah, and she left America over a year now. And her feedback when she came back and she was, we were conversating and she was telling me that, Jesse, it feels good to be somewhere safe and there are brown people all around you. Even though, it's an Arab country, there are obviously no hardly any white people there. And she's like, it feels refreshing. And yesterday I asked her like, what's going on, you know? And she's like, I was just about to send you a message. She's like, we have to leave. I have to leave. And she sent me a video that she put out to her friends and colleagues and stuff like that. And anyone that I guess is on her timeline on Facebook that, she's really, sorry that she has to leave because since she's been there, it's been such a safe, nice place. And now it's war. Now it's just an all-out destruction. Like I said, I was so looking forward to going to Saudi Arabia, to Jeddah, to watch my F1 race, or the F1 race, not mine, the F1 race. and do a little traveling to Egypt and Dubai. Now that's not going to happen. And it's sad because I don't, I kind of wonder, you know, how can someone just have no regards for human life, for humanity? You know, like you talk about, in America that, three soldiers died, but you bombed 167 little girls in Iran. And how many Iranian lives is equal to one American life? Do the math. Math doesn't lie, but do the math. You know, like, does that make sense? When you see the Americans saying, "Oh, Americans died," Iranians are dying, Palestinians are dying. Like, when they do the death for death, the disparity is is extreme. It's I just don't see the logic, and this is why talk about intelligent people are stupid. How could you just sit there and say these things? My mind is blown. My mind is blown. Ah, we need a resolution, and it's so easy to say we need a resolution. I just think they need to leave these people alone. Leave people alone. Let them live their lives. Okay? If any of these people, so-called people in the news, besides Jeffrey Sachs and a couple of few other people that are intelligent and know the truth and know the history, that the United States has been doing this with Iran since the 1950s because Iran does not want to conform. They wanted their oil in the 1950s, the American and the British. And when they said, "Oh, you know what? This is Iranian oil," what did they do? They sent Saddam in there to overturn the regime. Saddam worked for the U.S. And these people just forget this. Saddam worked for the U.S. They sent him to wage war on Iran to change regimes. And that's when they put in the freaking Shah of Iran, a puppet. And then he got overturned in 79. Come on, man. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. Why aren't you seeking the truth? This is just, like I said, it's astounding. Every word for word in the news and out of these politicians' mouths from 1950 to this present day, it's the same thing. Netanyahu saying the same thing. I want, I want, I want to destroy this. I want to take over this. When are you gonna get it? Anyway, that's my rant because I don't have anybody engaging with me right now. And I appreciate you that listened and sent a text, but yeah, Africa is the way, man. Africa is going to be the future again. No ifs, ands about it. That's where it's at. You guys take care of yourself. I appreciate you. Check out my other videos. Like, subscribe, keep the peace, love humanity.